Hello, grade 2. Welcome to your math chapter task. This is a chance for you to show your teacher everything that you have learned this unit with one little activity that we're going to use from our book, and then we're going to extend it into our visual journals. Okay? So you just saw the picture of the basketball game. We know that red has scored 69, and we know that blue has scored 58. So your job is going to be to pretend that we actually have a tournament going on, and we have those two teams, but we're going to add two more, and we need to figure out the scores of those other teams. So what I would like you to do is in your Math Focus workbook, I would like you to turn to page 66. Okay, 66. And that's what this one looks like here. And let's go through the instructions together. So if you don't have this, please pause the video, go to page 66, and we're going to read along together. So it says up at the top here, all these teams played today. Red, blue, yellow, and green. We know the scores of red and blue. We also know that green's score was the best. We don't know what that is yet. We also know that yellow's score was better than the blue's score. So what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to read those instructions one more time to yourself. So maybe pause the video, try again. Okay, we know that green is going to be the best or the highest, so it's going to have to be above those. We know that yellow's score was better than blue's score. So what could yellow and green have scored? Everyone's answer is going to be a little bit different, and that's okay, all right? But I want you to think about those numbers, those sentences, and then figure out what those scores are going to be. Your next step is going to tell your teacher how you figured out those possible scores for yellow and green. You can do this by showing your work. Maybe what you had to do was you tried out a few different numbers, and then you might have had to cross some of them off. So if you have some numbers down here and you cross them off, it just shows us your thinking, that you're stretching your brain and you're figuring out, you know what, that one did not work because it didn't fulfill this criteria of yellow score being better than blue score. So I want you to go back and I want you to figure out how you can show your teacher how you managed to indicate what those scores were. I would also like you to add a sentence that describes how you figured it out. Okay, so maybe that's going to be using equations. Maybe you drew a picture. Okay, so that's the space to communicate to your teacher. Your next little challenge here is that you are going to choose your favorite team. So it can be any one of those ones, okay? So if you choose this one, you're going to need to do the scores first, okay? Now, in your visual journal is where you're going to be actually doing this because there's no space in this book to do it. It says, use your tools to show this team's score in 3 different ways. I would like you to cross off that 3, and I would like you to turn it into a 5. Because we know a lot of different ways that we can represent numbers, and we know more than 3. So I would like everyone to do at least 5. If you want to do more, absolutely fine. So at least one of those ways should use 10s and 1s. So using that drawing of a base 10 block, that's something that you do need to do. And that crosses off one of them, so really it's only 4 more, okay? Draw pictures to show what you did. So because there's no space, you are going to grab your visual journal, and at the top of your visual journal page, I would like you to write down the team that you chose so that we can check back to see whether those numbers are accurate. So as you can tell, what I've done is I've just written the name, I used a ruler, and I underlined my title. Over here, I wrote down the score of that team. This is not correct. 46 does not work with the criteria of the challenge question. I wrote it down just because I want you to come up with your own number for that team. Now below, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to represent my number in 5 different ways. We've learned a lot of those in the last few weeks. So maybe you're going to represent it using a number line. Maybe you're going to draw a hundreds chart and you're going to show all the numbers around your number. Maybe you're going to show me a fact family. You're going to show me 4 different equations that match up to that number. Maybe you're going to show me a place value mat. You have to do base 10 blocks. Words. I'm running out of time here. Expanded form. And maybe you're going to show me a bunch of equations. All right, go ahead and get started.